Okay, so my next project, which is a little bit, you know, avoiding painting because this is easier, is I thought about mixing a few custom neutrals. So I don't think I'll do a lot, but the colors that really intrigued me and I use a lot, and I figured, and I already have them in my palette, so I want to create neutrals from colors that I already have in my palette. And of course, you know, I can always mix a neutral when I want to use it, which is what I do many times from the colors that I've already used. But this is just a mixture that I think is gorgeous, and it's this one here. So this is Naples Yellow. I have the Schminke one. Every brand has Naples Yellow. I find they are slightly different, and I really like the shade when it's really a creamy, buttery color. And the Schminke one is exactly that. And then this color has like wonderful granulation. So that's what happens when you mix these two. You get kind of, I would say, a warm beige type of color. That's like the base of it. And then you have the granulation from the cobalt violet, which I think is really special. And I keep coming back to these two together. So this is the first time I've actually attempted something like this, and I'm just going to go for it. So of course you need to have like good ratios of these, and I feel like the yellow here is a little bit more dominant, even though yellow is usually a light color. I feel like here it probably has a bit more weight. So
hey everyone, Future Elite here, and I just thought I would speed up this part and just tell you that I kept filling this, and basically I had to use a lot more purple because the yellow is very buttery and opaque, and the purple is more transparent. So the ratio really had to be more, you know, for the violet. But I just kept mixing and testing and mixing and testing, and eventually I kind of got to a good ratio, kind of, because I just ran out of space. I think I may need a little bit more yellow, but now I am speaking to you from the future the following day after this, and many times, not surprisingly, you know, as the paints dry and some of the water evaporates, they shrink. So there is more space to add some new paint, but I'm gonna just leave it as it is, and I'm really excited about this mixture. So yeah, that's basically what I did, but I thought I would just speed it up a bit and save you some of your precious time. So let's get on with the video.
but wow, what a glorious mixture, I have to say. Sorry, it's off camera. So it's getting a bit tight here. And yeah, and these, you know, the great thing about all this lovely alchemy, that's what I like. One of the things I love about watercolor is, you know, just the ease of use, that I can make this color now and then I can probably use it now for the next year. If I did this with acrylics, it wouldn't be so easy. Okay, so now the color got really, really pinky, but yeah, I think it's okay. We'll see how it dries. Many times they really shrink when they dry, so I kind of don't want to add now more paint. Maybe I'll add just a touch of yellow. So intense, this yellow. I just love the Schmincke Naples yellow. It's just so beautiful. Okay, mix it in a bit, and I'm gonna call it done. I'm gonna put it aside where hopefully nothing will fall into it, and that's it. My first custom mixed color. So excited. So I was considering also a couple of other mixtures. The one I was most kind of into was this one, or this one, which is trying to basically neutralize my this color here, the Sennelier, what's it called, emerald. It had the word element in my brain all the time, and I'm not sure. I think I'm good for now. So it also creates an interesting mix when you mix the emerald with any of those really fluorescent pinks like opera pink. That's an interesting combo. And another thing I really wanted to neutralize and have a custom neutral color from is my cobalt teal, so the PG50 pigment, and that's what I'm painting here. And the color, you know, you could use the color wheel, which I have somewhere but I'm too lazy to take out. But opposite that thing you should have something like opposite this turquoise, like a orangey red or something like that. So I have this color in my palette, which I actually don't know the name of. And one of the beautiful things about the cobalt teal, this color PG50, that's the pigment, is the way that it granulates. So that's why I think mixing it will create such interesting neutral colors, because we'll still have that granulation. And this is actually a really pretty color. So this is also a way, you know, if you're watching all the videos of people like trying out different Daniel Smith paints, and especially like all those natural, like their Permatex series and the ones from Natural Minerals, I have quite a few of those because, you know, I'm a collector and I want all the paints. And, you know, they have like these glorious granulations, like these wonderful effects. Like this one is, I can't remember the name of it, but it's an example. So if you don't have the Daniel Smith paints, they're so expensive. If you don't want to invest so much money in paints that, you know, you're less likely to use up, creating your own mixes from paints you already have, I think, is a really great way. And again, you can of course mix everything while you're painting. You can mix, that's what I do most of the time, but I thought it would be nice to have just some mixes. And look at that. I mean, just look at that. This, I'm getting this, I don't even know how to define this. It's just like a red color with turquoise granulation. I don't know, but that's insane. The only problem is with this, which I'm now obsessed with in the last moment that I made it, is that I have cobalt teal, like plenty of them, not from Schmincke but other brands, in a tube, so I could squeeze that out. But this color, I'm not even sure what this is, so I have to go and see if I have something like that in a tube and create some sort of a mix. Now it won't be obviously exactly 2 shades that I have in my palette, but I'm thinking it's gonna be close enough. What I wanted to see was how this, what is going on my leg? Okay, a piece of nylon fell on my leg, and I of course thought I was being attacked by animals. So this is the cobalt teal, and I wanted to see how it is with quinacridone coral, which is also a color that many brands have. I have the Daniel Smith one, and it's glorious. It's beautiful. So here it got already a little bit mucky, but that's a color that I do have in a tube, so I'm kind of curious to see what kind of a mix I will get. I think because the quinacridone coral is, it's this color here, so It's not as orangey as the one I tried here. So we'll definitely get more, you can see more of a purple color. So this would be like a semi-neutral. It's not, you know, completely neutral, I would say. For me, neutrals are like grays and really like browns. But something like a muted purple is like a semi-neutral, you know, or something like a very muted, I don't know, earthy pink. It's a semi-neutral because it still has that pink in it, if that makes sense. So look at that. If you try, play with your granulating colors and mix them with others and see the magic. So that would also be an amazing mix. I mean, look at that. I'm in love. That's just gorgeous. I hope you can see like all the granulation and separation of this. And of course, you know, the same would go for playing with something like the ultramarine colors that you have. I think there's ultramarine and there's French ultramarine. One of them is the granulating one. So you just have to play with your paints and see which one granulates. I think it's the French. I think the French ultramarine granulates. But yeah, the classic mix of ultramarine is ultramarine and burnt sienna, I want to say. I don't do a lot of earthy tones, so, but those are a classic combination for grays. A lot of, you know, landscape painters, they use that combo for grays, and, you know, rightfully so, because, boom, because they do neutralize each other. But since I don't have, I think this is something similar to this is off camera because I don't have space here anymore. So I think this is similar to burnt sienna. This is from the Jane Davenport neutral one. Wow. Okay, I don't have that color in a tube, so I can't really do that mix, but look at that. So together with the Schmincke ultramarine. I mean, seriously, what is that? That's magic. That is magic. So yeah, that's what I'm doing today. That's the one mixture that, you know, I made and I stayed with and I'm happy with. Oh my gosh, look at that. I'm gonna have to make something with ultramarine because this is crazy. Look how beautiful. I think I'll just need to find an orange that I love better than the burnt sienna, because I just don't like burnt sienna. But oh my, okay, I need to go play with watercolors, but soon I have to go pick up Lily, so I can't. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you feel in the mood to switch up your watercolors, play a bit, be brave, be playful. Let me know the discoveries that you've made and which colors, you know, kind of blew your mind when you mix them. I'm still obsessing over this. Look at that. What is that? That's gorgeous. Can you imagine that, for example, if you're painting an iris, like an eye of a person with an iris, and we could do that. That's really beautiful. Okay, so that's it. Bye bye. Okay, so this was a labor of love, and we'll see how well this serves me. And basically what I decided to go for in this palette, I have some light neutrals and a couple of like muddy colors, some specialty colors which I showed you, and here are some browns which I don't know if I'll use them, but there are some like interesting colors here, like Potter's Pink, I think this one is. I'll swatch them in a second. And then I have kind of my dark deep colors, which, you know, sometimes I do feel like I want something for contrast. So I'm going to start swatching these for you, just so you know what we're dealing with. Let's get some of these I just poured now, so they are quite liquid, but like fresh from the tube. I just put them in a pan but the other ones are dry. So the first one is the Daniel Smith Buff Titanium, I think it's called, or Titan Buff or something like that, which is just like a, you can see, like a dirty white. Then the next one is from Sennelier, and I talked about this in my favorite colors. It's called Warm Gray, and I just love it. It's a very, as you can see, like a warm gray. It's like a really great color, in my opinion. Now this one is, if I'm not mistaken, Sennelier Gray, and it has a slight green tone to it. This is the one I mixed yesterday, and I'm happy to say that it re-wets really, really easily. It was already dry today. This one is from those Etsy, I think her name is Mary Beth or something, paints, and they also, you can see they re-wet like really, really easily, which is important to me because I hate just sitting around and digging into my paint. This is the rose gold one, which I just thought would be fun. This is the copper one. Just doing it kind of fast because it's pretty self-explanatory. This is Potter's Pink, and this one is from Sennelier, and I have to say that it's just, Sennelier are so good with having even the colors that other companies make, and then it's really dry. Like Potter's Pink I think is a good example, because I've tried other brands and you really have to like wet it and get it going, but not the Schmincke one. It just goes immediately. This one is also from I want to say Mary Beth, but honestly I don't know if that's her name. I think it's called Black Cherry. It's kind of similar to the Potter's Pink, so maybe, I don't know if I need them both here. This is an orange. Okay, a very, very bright orange. It's also from Schmincke. I'm not sure which color it is. I think it's their transparent orange. Yeah, it's a beautiful color. My brights color is full, so that's why it's here for now. I don't know, we'll see. This color, I have no idea what this is. If I can figure it out, I'll let you know. But yeah, I thought I would try a couple of browns and see what's going on. This one is Daniel Smith. It's one of their like specialty colors. It's called hematite or hematite or hematite something violet, and it's one of those, you know, interesting granulating colors. So these colors I tend to prefer when they're really like watered down, like also this brown. And then you can kind of, I think these are fun to use for you know, faces and hair and that kind of thing, and just backgrounds and stuff. Okay, so the last row is really my intense colors. The orange seems a bit off here, right? But I love all these. I think they're such a good, like an interesting addition to my brights palette. So here on this row, I just squeezed out my last drops of Moon Glow, which is a really famous Daniel Smith paint. It's like a mixture of a few pigments, and it's kind of a you can see like a purple color with blue granulation. It's really fun. The next one is Perline Green, and the one I have is from Schmincke, but I think every brand has it. And it's a really deep kind of forest green. It's a good color for mixing neutrals. I think it's good also if you like to paint any type of like floral nature, that type of thing. I actually like this color. You know, it's not something I use a lot in my paintings, but I do occasionally use it for mixing. Like you can tone down like really bright pinks with it, and yeah, something a bit different. Next one is Perline Violet, and that's such a deep violet. And let's see, I want to see what happens when I mix these two. So okay, it's not completely clean here, but we will pretend that it is. So let's see. And the green. Yeah. So we can get a really interesting deep gray. Probably even. So this is just a mixture of these two. If I go a bit more into the green, you can almost get a black here. So yeah, I think these are nice to have because a lot of my bright colors are very light as they are, because that's what I prefer. So I can't really get deep shades with them. Next in my deep colors is of course indigo. Oh gosh, look at that. So that's the Schminke one, and I love it. I think it's my favorite, indigo, just because it's so deep and blue and not as gray as other ones are. So I'm not saying it's like good or bad, I'm just saying that's what I like. This one is some Sennelier gray. It's a bit like a bluish gray. I'm not sure the exact name. If you want to know the name of this gray, let me know in the comments. The next one is color I love. It's the Schminke Neutral Tint, and it's just, well, you can see it's a very neutral tint, but when you light it, it's just, it's such a beautiful neutral color to me. So it has, I would say, it's not as much blue as it is like a very, I don't know if I can see purple here, but it's, I don't know, somewhere between brown and purple, very deep, very, just a beautiful color. And the last one is also a fun one. That's the Soda Light Genuine from Daniel Smith, and it's also a dark, I don't have a lot of space and I don't want to start with another page. So it's just a very bluish neutral color, blue-gray color with tons of granulation. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed my playtime. I just want to show you up close so you can see. I would say this is my granulating neutral palette, but just look at the granulation. I mean, look at the color I mixed. This one here. Isn't that fantastic? Like a yellow, buttery yellow from the Naples yellow, and then we have the violet granulation. I think that's amazing. But that's just me. But I didn't do it, the watercolors did. So here we have some of the Etsy colors. Then here is the Potter's Pink. Look at that granulation. Then we have the next row with some of the specialty colors. This is the Hematite Violet, and then my deep colors. I could add, you know, something like a purple here, like a true purple, but it's just not a color that I like. But I would say that would probably be a good addition, like for another color. Look at the Moon Glow. Look at that color. There's like a reason I think this color is so popular. Anyway, yeah, so now I have to find a way to use all these, make something out of all these pages. Okay, that's it. Bye bye.